The taxi's tires hissed against the wet asphalt as we pulled away from downtown, the city bleeding neon through rain-smeared windows. Jessica sat beside me, arms stiff, fingers fiddling with the zipper on her purse like she was trying to tear a hole through it. I leaned my head back against the seat, watching her out of the corner of my eye. She had not said a word since we left Jake's party, not even a fake little laugh, not even a lazy comment about someone's terrible outfit. Nothing. Silence pressed against my ears like a scream held underwater. Outside, a siren wailed and then vanished into the distance. Jessica did not flinch. The driver's eyes caught mine in the rearview mirror for a second, just a flicker like he could feel the tension coming off her in waves. I shifted in my seat, suddenly suffocating under the weight of whatever the hell she was not saying. At a red light, she adjusted her coat. Something small, hard and rectangular dropped from her jacket pocket and clinked lightly against the leather seat. I caught the motion just barely, but before I could lean over to see what it was, Jessica swooped down, snatching it back like a vulture on a fresh kill. Her hands were trembling. I did not say anything. What was there to say? My brain was already working overtime, piecing together the million little things I'd ignored over the past month, the extra hours that worked, the sudden passwords on her phone, the way she smelled like a different cologne sometimes, not mine. But denial is a hell of a drug. And I was still high on it as we pulled up to our apartment. Jessica got out first, moving too fast, her heels clacking hard against the sidewalk. I paid the driver, mumbling thanks, and followed her upstairs. Inside, the door barely shut before she disappeared into the bathroom. Not a word. Not a glance. Just the sound of the lock clicking shut. I stood in the dark hallway, heart hammering, not knowing if I was about to explode or shatter into a million useless pieces. Her jacket was draped over the back of the kitchen chair, casual and careless like she was daring me to look. I hesitated. Maybe for a second. Maybe for 10. Then my hand moved. Fingers dipped into the pocket. First, a crumpled napkin. Then something else. A receipt. Damp with sweat. My sweat. I smoothed it out under the hallway light. It was not just any receipt. It was from the Meridian Hotel, the one right across from her office. Dated tonight. 8:43 p.m. check-in. 2 guests. Jessica M. and Tyler B. Tyler F. ****ing Bradford. The sane, cocky bastard who liked to banter with her on group chats, the one she once jokingly called her work husband before brushing it off like it was no big deal. I felt my whole body go cold. The floor felt like it tilted. In the bathroom I could hear water running. Not the shower. The sink. Running. Running like she needed time, space, distance. Running from me. I stood there staring at the receipt, letting the ugly truth seep into my bones inch by inch. I should have barged in their demanded answers. Instead, I stood frozen, hands shaking, feeling the earth shift under my feet as everything I thought I knew about my life crumbled in slow motion. And then the water stopped. The door creaked open. Jessica stepped out. Still humming. Still pretending. Face scrubbed clean. Hair twisted up, wearing the ratty old t-shirt she always wore to bed as if she could erase what she'd done just by scrubbing off her makeup. She smiled at me, a small empty smile, and said, "You coming to bed?" She said it so casually. You coming to bed, like the past 3 hours had not happened. Like she was not walking around with betrayal still dripping off her like cheap perfume. I did not answer right away. I just stared at her, this creature wearing my wife's face. Jessica tilted her head as narrowing just a fraction. I saw at that split second where she realized something was wrong, where she realized maybe she was not going to wiggle out of this one with some half-assed smile and a kiss on the cheek. I took a step forward. The receipt crushed in my hand so tightly the paper ripped. Her eyes flicked down, saw it. And for the first time all night real emotion cracked across her face. Not guilt. Not fear. Annoyance. "What's that?" she asked. Voice cool, like I was the one intruding. I held it up between 2 fingers, shaking. "You tell me." Silence. The walls around us felt like they were breathing, closing in, waiting for the explosion. Jessica crossed her arms, one hip cocked out, her whole posture shifting into pure defense. "Why are you going through my stuff?" she snapped. That's what she went with. Not an apology. Not even a fake excuse. She went straight to playing the victim. I laughed, this awful broken sound that barely made it out of my throat. "You serious right now?" I said. "That's your move? I find a hotel receipt. With you and Tyler's names on it. And you pissed at me for finding it." She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her F***ng eyes ** at me. "It's not what you think," she said, voice dripping with manufactured patience. "We had a meeting. A business thing. A client needed some urgent paperwork signed in a hotel room." I cut in, stepping closer. Jessica shrugged as if the absurdity of her story was my problem. There was no conference space available. It was easier to just look. "It's not." I did not answer her. Could not. My mouth was dry. My throat clamped shut like someone had wrapped a noose around it. Jessica stood there for a second longer. Eyes flickering. Searching my face for something. Recognition. Fear. She must have seen it. The way my hands were balled into fists. The way I was staring at her like a stranger who had just broken into my house. The fake little smile faded. "What?" she said. Fainting confusion like a bad actress in a high school play. I did not say a word. Just walked past her. Slow. Deliberate. And dropped the receipt onto the kitchen counter. The paper made the softest little whisper as it landed. But it was louder than a gunshot in that brittle silence between us. Jessica's eyes flicked to it. She saw. She knew. And still. The audacity to roll her eyes. "Oh. For F. ********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** out of line. It's not what you think. Not what I think. The oldest, laziest excuse in the F. *****ng book. I let out a breathless laugh. Something bitter and sharp that tasted like blood in my mouth. You were at a hotel tonight, I said, my voice low, shaking with Tyler. And you were going to stand there and tell me it's not what I think. She shrugged. Actually shrugged. Like it was annoying to her that she had to explain it. It's complicated, she said, turning away like she was bored already. You would not understand. I stepped closer. My hands itched with the need to grab something. The counter, the wall. Anything. Just to keep myself from losing it. Try me, I said through gritted teeth. Jessica blew out a dramatic sigh, flopping onto the couch like a teenager grounded for breaking curfew. We were just talking. All right. I did not feel like coming home yet. And Tyler? He's just easy to talk to. I stared at her. Talking at a hotel at 8:43 p.m. For 2 guests. Was she high? Did she think I was a complete moron? You expect me to believe you booked AF**** in a hotel room to talk? I said, my voice climbing despite my best effort to stay calm. Jessica tilted her head, studying her nails. You've been so intense lately, Ethan. Always asking where I'm going, who I'm with. It's exhausting. Tyler listens. He does not interrogate me every 5 seconds. And there it was. The twist of the knife. She was flipping this around, making it my fault. I felt something break inside me. Something deep and old and stupid that had clung to the hope she would apologize. That she would show even a flicker of guilt. But there was none. Just coldness. You cheated, I said quietly. Just say it. Be a goddamn adult and say it. Jessica laughed. Laughed. The sound was hollow, sharp, cruel. Cheated. She sneered. You never yourself. It's not like you were some perfect husband, Ethan. You re boring. You never want to do anything new. Tyler makes me feel alive. That word hit harder than any slap could have. Alive. As if I had been sucking the life out of her for the past 6 years. Just by loving her the best way I knew how. My knees nearly buckled. I staggered back, hitting the edge of the kitchen counter with a dull thud. Jessica did not move to help. She just watched me. Her arms folded. Face blank except for the faint smirk curling her lips. In that moment, I realized I was not standing in front of my wife anymore. I was standing in front of a stranger wearing her skin. And worse. She did not even care. I do not even remember walking to the bedroom. My body moved. But my mind was somewhere else. Stuck in a loop of her words echoing through my skull. Boring. Alive. Tyler makes me feel alive. It was like she'd opened up my chest, spit in it, and slammed it shut again. I grabbed the overnight bag from the closet. The same one we took to Cape Cod last year when I still thought we were happy, and started throwing clothes inside. Behind me, I heard her bare feet padding down the hallway. Slow and deliberate. Like she had all the time in the world. She leaned in the doorway, arms crossed, watching me with a bored, detached look on her face. "What you running away now?" I said, one eyebrow cocked like this was some sitcom fight that would end with make-up kisses and cheap sitcom laughter. I did not answer. I just shoved a t-shirt into the bag harder than I needed to. Real mature. "Ethan," she added, her voice slicing at me. Every syllable deliberate. "Like you read the ****ing victim here." I zipped the bag, the sound harsh in the tense airless room. "You know what?" I continued, pushing off the door frame and stepping into the room like she owned it. "Maybe if you actually listened to me once in a while, we would not be here. Maybe if you had not gotten so damn comfortable." I turned and faced her. Really faced her. The woman standing in front of me was not the girl I married. This was someone else. Someone cruel. Someone who could lie, cheat, and then blame me without flinching. "You could have talked to me," I said. "You could have tried. You did not have to." I could not even finish the sentence. Jessica shrugged, completely unfazed. "Talking is boring," she said, voice sharp as broken glass. "Tyler gets it. Tyler knows how to have fun. You just want everything safe and neat and perfect." I stared at her. My vision blurring, rage and heartbreak warring inside me until I thought I might literally combust from the inside out. "Is that why you let him you in a hotel room?" I said, voice dangerously low for a second. Just a second. Her mask slipped. Everything flickered in her eyes. But then she smiled. Wide. Sharp. Vicious. "What can I say?" she whispered. "He is better than you." And there it was. The kill shot. No mercy. No regret. My fists clenched so hard my nails bit into my palms. It was either that or put a hole through the drywall. I grabbed my bag and shouldered past her, my body physically aching from how much I hated touching the same air she breathed. As I made it to the door, she called out lazily, "Do not worry, Ethan. I'll be just fine without you." I stopped. Turned halfway. Looked at her. She was smiling. Smiling like she'd won something. And that's when I knew this was not a mistake. It was not guilt. It was not a drunken lapse or a one-time thing. Jessica had chosen this. Chosen him. And she wanted me to know it. No tears. No apologies. Just a clean, brutal cut straight through whatever we had built. I opened the door. Stepped out into the hallway. Did not look back. The door clicked shut behind me, final and cold. I stood there for a long second, bag in hand, heart shattered into 1,000 worthless pieces. And then I walked away from the ruins of my marriage, each step heavier than the last. The elevator ride down to the parking garage felt like it took a year. I leaned back against the wall, the cheap fluorescent lights buzzing above me, my bag at my feet, my mind blank. Numb. When the doors opened, the smell of gasoline and cold concrete hit me like a slap. I moved on autopilot toward my car, the old silver Camry Jessica used to make fun of when she was feeling cruel. Why do not you get something sexy? Something that does not scream middle-aged dad. I remembered laughing back then. Brushing it off. Now it felt like a warning sign I had not read right. I threw the bag in the back seat, slid behind the wheel, and just sat there. The keys dangled from the ignition, but I did not turn them. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned bone white. I should have driven off. I should have found a motel and buried myself in cheap sheets and bad TV. But something inside me, the same thing that had made me check her jacket pocket, refused to let this end cleanly. I needed to know more. Needed to see it no matter how much it burned. I pulled out my phone. For a minute, my thumb hovered over her name in my contacts, the photo popping up, her smiling, sun-kissed at the beach, a version of Jessica that was already dead and buried. I did not call. Instead, I opened up the stupid Find My Friends app we had set up months ago after she lost her phone at the movies. She'd made a joke about how now you can stalk me whenever you want, laughing, teasing, but I just smiled, trusting. I tapped her name. Location, the Meridian Hotel. Still, she had not even left. Had not even pretended to come home and work things out. No. She was still there. Probably with him. The realization hit me like a crowbar to the chest. I should have thrown the phone against the wall. I should have started the car and driven as far away as possible. But all I could do was stare at that little blue dot blinking back at me. Like it was laughing. My stomach twisted into something ugly, something mean. I needed to see it. I needed proof burned into my brain so that when the guilt-tripping and gaslighting started later, I would not waver. I would not crawl back begging like some broken dog. I turned the key. The Camry roared to life. And I drove. The hotel was not far. In minutes, maybe less. My brain barely processed the road ahead, just flashes of streetlights, stop signs, red lights I blew through without caring. When I pulled into the parking lot, my hands were steady. Steadier than they had any right to be. I parked, got out, and made my way to the lobby like a ghost. Inside, the receptionist barely looked up. Just a tired woman with a name tag that said Heather, scrolling on her phone, barely surviving her night shift. I slipped past her toward the elevators, heart hammering against my ribs like a drum of war. Up to the 5th floor, the carpet smelled like bleach and bad decisions. Room 514. The number burned itself into my memory. I stood there for a second, breathing hard, every nerve ending on fire. And then I heard it. Laughter. A woman's laughter. Hers. And a man's voice, low, coaxing, disgusting. My fists clenched. I almost pounded on the door right then, demanded they open up, screamed until security dragged me out. But instead, I did something worse. I stepped back, pulled out my phone, and started recording. Jessica's voice filtered through the crack of the door, clear as a bell. "You're so much better than him, baby. God, I wasted so much time pretending to be happy with Ethan." And Tyler's voice, just a smug. "Do not worry, babe. He's a joke. He does not deserve you." They laughed again. That high, awful sound. Even the sounds of movement. Moaning. The kind of moaning that leaves no doubts about what's happening behind a closed door. I stood there for what felt like forever, recording every second. I wanted to puke. Wanted to claw my own ears off. But I did not move. I did not look away. I made myself stay and listen to every disgusting second so I could never, ever forget the real Jessica. The Jessica without the fake smiles. The Jessica without the wedding dress and the lies and the sweet I love yous that meant absolutely ******ing nothing. I left the hotel with the recording still playing in my pocket. Walked back to my car under a sky so black it felt like the stars had given up. I sat behind the wheel, numb, and hit play again. Jessica's voice filled the car full of venom, full of betrayal. And that S when I knew there was no going back. No fixing it. No forgiving it. The woman I loved was dead. And the thing she left behind was the thing I was going to destroy. I sat there in the car, the recording still playing low. Jessica's voice weaving a tight noose around my heart. Every word was a cut. Every giggle was a stab. Every gasp was a bullet. The rage did not come all at once. It built slow, careful, deadly, not the messy rage of throwing things or screaming until your throat shreds. No, this was surgical, precise. I was going to destroy her. Not with fists, not with screams, but with the one thing she loved more than Tyler's pathetic hands on her skin, her reputation. Jessica lived for her image, the perfect wife, the rising star at her marketing firm, the girl next door who had it all. I was going to take it from her brick by ing brick. I opened my contacts list, scrolled to the bottom, found Mark Winston, Jessica's boss, the same boss she bragged about schmoozing at company parties, the same boss she once drunkenly confessed to wanting to impress more than anything because he was the key to my promotion. I thumbed the call button but did not press it yet. Not yet. Not without a plan. Not without pulling the pin carefully and tossing it just right. Instead, I pulled out my laptop from the back seat and connected to my hotspot. I spent the next hour downloading everything. Bank statements. Shared cloud photos. Old chat logs she never deleted because she thought I was too stupid to look. And what I found was a goddamn gold mine. Pictures. Jessica draped over Tyler at what was clearly not an office event. Screenshots of dirty texts not just from today but from months back. Her telling him she loved him. Her mocking me. Her calling me the safe bet while Tyler was the real adventure. I swallowed the vomit rising in my throat and kept digging. I found her work calendar. Meetings that were really hotel bookings. Late nights that were really early check-ins. All the while, Jessica's words from that hallway earlier repeated in my head. You read boring. Tyler makes me feel alive. By 4 a.m. I had a folder that could end her career, her friendships, her whole damn facade. I was not even tired. Just vibrating with cold purpose. I sent a few emails. Attached just the right photos. Just the right screenshots. Just enough to start the fire and let it spread without ever tying it back to me. First email. To Mark Winston. Subject. What you should know. Second email. To Jessica's best friend, Lauren, the one who adored me and always said she could not believe how lucky Jess was to have a guy like me. Subject. You deserve the truth. Third email. Blind copy to half the contacts in her work emails autocomplete. Including her mom. Especially her mom. And then. I sat back. And waited. Because sometimes revenge is not about swinging fists. It's about pulling the right thread, watching everything unravel and smiling while the bitch who thought she was untouchable drowns in her own lies. By the time the first explosion hit, the sun was dragging itself up over the horizon like it regretted showing up. I was parked across the street from our apartment, not our apartment anymore, sipping bitter gas station coffee and watching the front entrance like a sniper waiting for his mark. At exactly 7:42 a.m. Jessica's phone lit up on the passenger seat where I had tossed it hours ago after grabbing it off the counter, while she was busy screwing Tyler behind closed doors. It buzzed once. Twice. Then it started melting down. Calls. Texts. Emails. The first message popped up from Lauren. What the actual F***, Jessica? Another 1 seconds later from her mom. You need to call me. Now. Then Mark Winston. Meeting at 9 a.m. Be ready to explain yourself. I leaned back in the seat, a slow grin curling across my face. It was happening. And it was only the beginning. 10 minutes later, I saw her. Jessica stormed out of the building like a wasp pit with a hose still in last night's clothes, hair wild, mascara smeared. She was yelling into her phone, her whole body vibrating with panic. Even from across the street, I could hear her shrieking. Mark, I swear it's not what it looks like. Those photos are doctored. Somebody's trying to F*** with me. Yeah. Keep telling yourself that, sweetheart. She kicked the curb in frustration, nearly twisted her ankle in those 2 high heels she wore to look powerful at work. And then she turned, caught sight of the Camry, and froze. Even from the distance, I saw the moment she realized it was me. Saw the blood drain from her face. She made a beeline across the street, dodging traffic, her purse slamming against her hip, her mouth already opening in some pathetic version of damage control. I rolled down the window just enough to hear her. "Ethan," she shouted, panic lacing her voice. "We need to talk. Please, just we can fix this." Like it was a leaky pipe and not the goddamn Hiroshima of betrayals. I did not move. Did not speak. I just hit play on my phone. The recording from the hotel last night blared through the car speakers, Jessica's voice, sweet and slutty purring. "Yuri's so much better than him, baby." Her face crumpled like a building hit with a wrecking ball. The color drained. Her mouth hung open in horror as she stumbled back a step like I'd physically punched her. I kept my hand on the window button and slowly rolled it back up, blocking her out, just like she had blocked me out 1,000 little ways before. Jessica pounded on the glass, screaming now desperate. "Ethan, do not do this. You're ruining my life. Please." I smiled. Finally, the right words, the truths she could not deny. I started the car. Jessica slapped her palm against the window one last time, leaving a greasy, broken print. And then I drove away, leaving her there. I was alone, ruined exactly like she deserved. I should have felt satisfied. I should have felt victorious, driving away from her like some avenging angel in a battered Camry. But what I felt was deeper, darker, like I'd finally stepped off the edge of a cliff and there was no ground left to hit. I pulled into the first parking lot I could find, a crumbling gas station off the interstate, killed the engine, and just sat there staring at nothing. Phone buzzing on the seat beside me. Non-stop. Jessica was blowing it up like her life depended on it. Calls, texts, voicemails. I picked it up, stared at the screen, flashing her name. For 1/6 I almost answered. Almost. Instead, I let it buzz itself into silence. Then I opened the text because some sick part of me wanted to see how far she'd desync. The first few were predictable. Jessica. "Ethan, please. You're overreacting. Jessica. We can talk about this. I still love you. Jessica." Tyler meant nothing. It was just a mistake. That word again. Mistake. Like she tripped and fallen into a hotel bed with him by accident. But it did not stop there. Jessica was unraveling faster than I could even read. Jessica. "I'll quit my job. I'll block him. I'll do anything. Jessica. I'll make it up to you. I swear." Then the desperation turned venomous. "Jessica. If you do not answer me, I'll tell everyone you abused me. Do not ing test me." I blinked at the screen. Heart going still in my chest. Mouth dry as sand. There it was. The real Jessica. When love did not work, when pity did not work, she reached for the nuclear button. False accusations. Character assassination. She was ready to salt the earth if she could not control me anymore. The old Jessica, the one I had loved like a fool, was long dead. This one? This one was a monster. I tightened my grip on the phone until my fingers ached. No. Not scared. Not running. If she wanted war, she was going to get scorched. I screenshot everything. Every threat. Every manipulation. Sent them to a secure cloud, copied them to a burner email I had set up months ago when I first got the feeling something was not right. Jessica thought she could blackmail me into silence. She thought wrong. Another call came through. Voicemail. Curiosity prickled at me. I played it. Her voice ragged, frantic like an animal caught in a trap. "Ethan, please. Do not do this. I'll lose everything. I'll tell people you were abusive. I'll say you cheated first. I'll make them hate you. Do not think I will not. You see, not leave me. Not like this. Please. I need you. I'll do anything. Just come home. Please." The message cut off into messy sobs. Real? Fake? Who the hell knew anymore? But the most important part? She said it. Unrecording. Threats. Blackmail. Evidence. I sat there staring at the cracked dashboard, feeling a new kind of calm settle over me. Jessica thought she was playing chess. She did not realize I was flipping the entire *****ing board. I pulled up my lawyer's number, had not needed him in years, but he owed me a favor and hit call. As the phone rang, I allowed myself a small dark smile. Jessica had declared war. But I was about to end it. The call connected on the third ring. Ethan? Jesus man, it's early. What's wrong? Greg Lawson, my old college buddy turned sharp as nails attorney, sounded groggy but alert underneath it. The guy never missed the scent of blood. I need to file for divorce, I said flatly, my voice ablaze across the quiet. There was a pause. Then a low whistle. That bad? Worse. She's cheating. Got recordings. Got proof. She's already threatening to accuse me of abuse if I do not play nice. Greg did not even hesitate. Send me everything you have. Now. I forwarded the folder, screenshots, recordings, hotel receipts, everything, and by the time I took another sip of my cold coffee, he was already barking orders like we were storming a beach. We refiling immediately. Full documentation. Emergency injunction to prevent her from accessing your accounts. You're going to serve her hard and fast, no room to maneuver, no time to spin a story. Good. Perfect. I thought she could burn me down if she screamed loud enough. She did not realize I had already soaked her entire future in gasoline. Within 3 hours the papers were filed. Emergency hearings requested. Her emails to me flagged as evidence of coercion and defamation in progress. All set. Now it was just about the delivery. And oh, was it going to be poetic. Greg arranged it so Jessica would be served at her office. At the same marketing firm she bragged about nonstop. In front of her colleagues. In front of Mark Winston, who had already seen that anonymous photos I'd sent, the ones of Jessica and Tyler cozying up in that hotel lounge, time stamped, undeniable. The final nail. Greg managed to fast-track the court motion for a protective order against her, flipping her threat right back into her face, legally binding. It was brutal. It was tactical. It was beautiful. By noon I got the text from Greg. It's done. She's been served. Wish I could have filmed it. Epic meltdown, apparently. I sat there in my car outside a sandwich shop, a bland turkey sub untouched on the passenger seat, and smiled for real for the first time in months. Minutes later my phone blew up again. Jessica. Of course. First a text. Jessica. You ruining my life. You indicative bastard. Then another. Jessica. Please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ethan, we can fix this. I'll go to therapy. I'll quit my job. I'll do anything. Do not leave me. And finally the desperate nuclear one. Jessica. I'm pregnant. It's yours. Please. You see, not do this to me. I stared at that last message. Dead silent. Pregnant. Maybe once that word would have floored me. Made me panic. Made me hope. Yeah. It just tasted like one last desperate lie. Jessica had already set herself on fire. She just did not realize she was the one standing in the gasoline all along. I did not answer. Did not even open the message. I deleted the entire thread. Blocked her number. Blocked her email. For the first time in 6 years, Jessica's voice, the lies, the sweetness, the cruelty underneath it was silent. Dead air. Freedom. I leaned back against the car seat and closed my eyes, letting the quiet sink into my bones. She was finished. I was not just walking away from her anymore. I was stepping over the ashes. 2 weeks later, I stood at the edge of the city staring out over the cracked skyline. The divorce was already halfway through. Greg was a damn machine, steamrolling every false claim. Every desperate legal stunt Jessica tried to throw up as a last defense. She lost her job within 3 days of being served. Mark Winston did not even blink. Apparently, Corporate did not appreciate employees screwing coworkers and then exploding into public drama like a soap opera villain. Tyler? Gone. Dumped her the moment the scandal hit the office. Apparently, alive did not mean unemployed and toxic. I heard through the grapevine that Jessica tried to spin the story to her friends, painting me as a jealous, controlling ex. Did not work. Not after Lauren leaked the screenshots I had anonymously sent her. Not after her own mother, the woman who used to adore her, told mutual friends she was ashamed to call Jessica her daughter. The collapse was complete. Spectacular? But the truth? Winning did not feel like fireworks. It felt like standing over a battlefield at dawn, smoke curling from the wreckage, body aching from wounds you did not even realize you'd taken until the adrenaline drained out. Because the thing nobody tells you about betrayal is this. It does not just hurt because they left. It hurts because you stayed. For too long. For too many excuses. For too many lies. It hurts because you loved someone who was not even real in the first place. Jessica was a ghost wearing a beautiful face. And I had loved the ghost so hard it almost killed me. Being there, wind cutting through my jacket, I realized something deep in my gut. This was the best thing that ever happened to me. Not because of the revenge. Not because she was suffering. Because I was free. Free from begging for scraps. Free from doubting my gut. Free from making myself small just so someone else could feel bigger. I did not hate Jessica anymore. She was not worth it. Hating her would be like hating a hurricane for ripping your house apart, pointless and exhausting. You rebuild. You get smarter. You do not stay standing in the rubble crying about the storm. You leave. You live. I tossed the last photo of her, a crumpled Polaroid from some stupid road trip years ago, into the river below. Watched it float for a second before the current ripped it away. Gone. Finally. If anyone out there is reading this because you're in the same place I was, clinging to someone who already left you emotionally a long time ago, hear me. Let them go. Let them drown themselves. You're not their life raft. You never were. You were the goddamn ocean. Bigger. Deeper. Stronger. And they were just one shipwreck on your way to better shores.